Automatic negative thoughts can be overwhelming, but they can be challenged and controlled using simple techniques. The average human brain generates up to 70,000 thoughts per day. The majority of these thoughts are negative and appear unexpectedly. Buddha wisely stated that nothing can harm you more than your own thoughts. And for many of us, this certainly is true. Let's look at why human thoughts are so often negative and, more importantly, how to control all of those unwanted negative thoughts. There are two main reasons for our automatic negative thoughts. First, having negative thoughts is completely normal, so stop beating yourself up for having them. They are there to keep you safe. Our prehistoric ancestors survived by constantly monitoring for threats, resolving problems as they arose, and learning from their mistakes. Imagination is one of the best qualities of the human mind, and we use it to envision potential threats and problems. This allows us to solve problems before they become more serious. However, our ability to imagine threats can work against us by transforming our minds into random negative thought generators. The second reason you may be experiencing so many automatic negative thoughts is that negative thinking has become a habit. This is demonstrated by the fact that 90% of all our thoughts are repetitive. You will have almost identical thoughts today as you did yesterday. When you do something frequently enough, including thinking negative thoughts, you form a neural pathway. The more you do it, the stronger your brain's connections will become. This is how habits, including negative thinking, develop and why it is so difficult to break a bad habit. While automatic negative thoughts are normal and exist to keep you safe, they can still cause you harm. Negative thoughts cause chronic stress, which in many ways alters the brain. Every negative thought alters your brain chemistry, resulting in a series of negative consequences. Automatic negative thinking can have the following negative effects: depleting beneficial brain chemicals such as the feel-good neurotransmitters serotonin and dopamine, slowing the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor BDNF, a protein necessary for new brain cell formation, shrinking the size of the brain while enlarging the amygdala, the brain's fear center, increasing the risk of psychiatric and neurodegenerative disorders, and accelerating the brain's aging process. When stress becomes chronic, it alters the brain's DNA. It may appear that your negative thoughts are keeping you safe, but in reality, they are trapping you in a destructive cycle of stress and misery. Cognitive biases and distortions are subtle ways in which your mind convinces you of something that isn't true. Your brain tricks you into believing that your negative thoughts are accurate and logical, when in reality they only serve to reinforce negative thinking and emotions. Psychologists recognize numerous cognitive biases. The number of biases varies depending on the reference source, but there are lists of up to 200. Most people would struggle to remember them all, but Dr. Amen makes it easy. He classifies 9 of the most common automatic negative thought patterns as different species of ants, with the most destructive being red ants. He warns that a few ants will not cause much harm, but cautions against ant infestations, which occur when thousands of negative thoughts begin to dominate your thinking. He claims that learning how to kill ants by creating an internal ant eater can be just as effective as antidepressant medications in treating anxiety and depression. Here are the 9 ants. Black or white thinking. The use of words like always, never, and every distinguishes this ant. Catch yourself. The next time you'll tell yourself, I'm never going to lose weight, you never listen to me. Or everyone knows this except me. Ant number 2, focusing on the negative. This ant involves dismissing the positive and focusing on the negative. Someone once said, we can either complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. The origin of this quote is unknown, but the wisdom contained within is not. And number 3, fortune telling. We're not talking about psychics attempting to predict the future with a crystal ball. We are talking about fortune tellers who know the worst case scenario for any given situation. If your first reaction to a new idea is that's not going to work, you may be suffering from this common cognitive bias. And number 4, mind reading. Mind reading is another skill that psychics excel at. With this end, you believe you understand what other person is thinking. You incorrectly assume that their thoughts are about you and that they are negative. And number 5, think with your feelings. This happens when you experience negative emotions without questioning them. You could be in a situation where you feel stupid, for example. It's easy for that feeling to turn into the belief that you're stupid, which is not true. And number 6, being ruled by shoulds. Dr. Amen refers to using words like should or have as guilt beatings. Ouch. Guilting yourself or others into change is rarely beneficial. And number 7, labeling. Remove negative labels such as fat, lazy, stupid, and loser from your vocabulary. Do not label others or yourself. Labels can become a self-fulfilling prophecy for you, harming your relationships with others. And number 8, taking it personally. If others do not treat you as well as you would like, do not take it personally. If you suffer from this and you may find it difficult to accept that the world does not revolve around you. People aren't thinking about you as much as you think. If a friend, family member, or coworker is grumpy, it's most likely because they had a bad night. They are overwhelmed with work, or they are concerned about something unrelated to you. And number 9, blame. This last one is fairly straightforward. Do not blame others for your own problems. Recognize that you are accountable for your own actions, thoughts, and attitudes. So how do you challenge automatic negative thoughts? Now that you've identified the most common automatic negative thought patterns, practice recognizing them when they appear. Next, you want to learn how to deprive them of power by refusing to accept their truth. Here are some ways to question their validity. Ask yourself questions. When you recognize an automatic negative thought, ask yourself the following questions. Is this thought true? Does having this thought serve me? Is there another explanation or another way of looking at things? What advice would I give to a friend who had this thought? You'll almost certainly discover that there are other perspectives on the situation. Second, write down your automatic negative thoughts. Writing them down can help you identify patterns. You may discover that certain situations or people cause them. You may also notice that many of your automatic negative thoughts are variations on a few simple themes. You'll feel less overwhelmed if you realize you only have a few automatic negative thought patterns to master. Third, a slightly unusual technique is to personify your inner critic. This can be as simple as picturing a devil on your shoulder or your evil twin. This helps you avoid owning these thoughts. Consider that these thoughts come from an outside source, one that doesn't have your best interests in mind. If you had an acquaintance, friend, or loved one who spoke as harshly to you as you do to yourself, you would hopefully dump them in a heartbeat. So treat this voice in your head as a bad friend and ignore what it says. And remember that your inner critic cannot make you feel bad without your permission. Or you can say that your gut microbiome causes you to think negatively. Every day, scientists learn more about the amazing two-way communication channel that connects our intestines and brains. Fourth, view your negative thoughts as boring. Do you think you'd continue to listen to a friend who complained or told you the same story dozens of times a day? No way. Their stories would bore you and you'd quickly learn to tune them out. So why not try the same with your own thoughts? Simply notice when you have an automatic negative thought. Say to yourself, it's the same old thought again. Roll your eyes, sigh internally, and say to yourself, boring. Recognize that not all of your thoughts are interesting, important, or even true, and simply let them go. Fifth, turn your ants into pets. Another approach to overcoming ants is to convert them into pets or positive, empowering thoughts. You accomplish this by reframing your negative thoughts as something more positive and, ironically, likely more realistic. You may find it useful to use an automatic negative thoughts worksheet, which is available on the written version of this video that you can download later, to record both your automatic thoughts and the new thoughts you plan to replace them with. 6. Reframe should and shouldn't statements. Pets are particularly useful for reframing should and shouldn't statements. The next time you find yourself saying, I should or I shouldn't, replace it with a more positive phrase that emphasizes the benefits of alignment with your values instead. For example, the next time you're tempted to say, I should exercise, which implies that you don't already exercise or don't want to, tell yourself a pet like this instead. I'm looking forward to exercising. Exercise is important to me. I love the way I feel after exercising. These positive thoughts may not feel true at first, but they will as exercise becomes a new habit. This reframing applies to things you should not do as well. For example, if you smoke but want to quit, instead of telling yourself, I shouldn't smoke, change it into one of these pets. I am not the type of person who smokes. I choose to be smoke-free. I feel great when I don't smoke. I feel proud of myself that I'm a non-smoker. Challenging your thoughts is the most important way to control automatic negative thoughts. But there are some techniques that support this process. Meditation is effective at calming the mind and overcoming negative thoughts. Meditation teaches you to notice and dismiss thoughts, allowing them to pass without emotional investment. Meditation is not the only way to quiet your mind. Mind-body exercises such as yoga, tai chi, and qigong can provide similar results. And as long as you do it mindfully, any activity can be transformed into a meditation. Practice gratitude. It's difficult to feel overwhelmed by negative thoughts while feeling grateful. Being grateful reduces negativity by increasing levels of feel-good brain chemicals such as serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. According to Robert Emmons, the world's leading gratitude expert, gratitude increases mental and emotional resilience while reducing underlying negative emotions. When to seek professional help for negative thoughts? We understand that telling someone who is experiencing anxiety or depression to think positive thoughts is as ineffective as throwing a bicycle to a drowning man. If negative thoughts overwhelm you or have a significant impact on your life, you should seek professional help. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a highly recommended treatment. Unlike other types of therapy, it focuses on helping you recognize and control negative thoughts in the present, rather than on your past life experiences. This type of talk therapy can be especially beneficial if you have a recognized mental health disorder. Alternatively, you can try online counseling, which makes mental health therapy convenient, affordable, and accessible to almost anyone. I have created a 3-month one-on-one coaching program, Transform Your Thinking, which is exactly for that purpose. We go through everything necessary to understand your thought process and the power of thinking. It's created specifically for clients who struggle with depression, anxiety, or negative thoughts. You will get the tools for life, how to manage your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Now is the time to change your life. Every little thing you change in yourself has an impact to everything around you. Contact me for further details. Until then, take care and much love.